Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Banished! I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be jumping back in to one of my favorite games that we've ever played here on the channel. It's been a while since I last played Banished. It has been quite a while since I last played Banished. But for those of you that don't know, this game is basically Stonehearth or RimWorld with this sort of realistic graphic style, and it is a bit more of a hardcore version of those games. Maybe not more hardcore than RimWorld, but it's up there. It's a lot tougher than Stonehearth would be, and it's obviously not quite as adorable, but that's okay. That's totally fine. Let's go ahead and pause for a second. We'll stop all of my citizens from running around because we need to get set up before we even start building anything. So what we need to do is we need to be able to see the general stats, we need to be able to see the event log, we need to be able to see the professions that we have, and I just want to rearrange all of this a little bit to make it look a little bit better. So there we go. We have the general stats in the top left, the professions bottom left, event log next to that, and I think it might be worth being able to see the resource limits up in the top right there as well. That's actually something that I've not seen a lot of games do, just let you sort of put the UI wherever you want it. Like, if you want your professions there, you go ahead and put them there. You can do that. It's kind of cool. I like it, honestly. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. Anyway, we need to get set up. As it stands, we have one building and one stockpile. In this building, we have coats, we have iron tools, we have potatoes. In the stockpile, we have firewood, iron, logs, and stone. We need to put all of that stuff to good use, and we need to start building some shelters for our citizens. Now, what we can do is we can go ahead and build a wooden house if we want to. I don't really want to do that. I'm thinking we'll start with a boarding house. It's going to use more materials than a simple wooden house would use, but it is temporary accommodation for the homeless, which is going to be something that we'll need later on anyway. And it will be immediate accommodation for the 19 people who are currently homeless, which, by the way, is currently 10 adults, 0 students, and 9 children. Which is an issue because almost 50% of the population isn't going to work because they're children. Unfortunately, and I can't believe I'm saying this in the first episode, unfortunately this game doesn't let you put kids to work, which in management games is frustrating because they just consume resources. It's an added challenge, alright? And if you're wondering what the tone's gonna be for this series, I think that just said it right there. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get ourselves a boarding house. What I'm thinking is I'd like to put it sort of here. I think there's gonna be a good spot right next to the barn. So we'll get that built. We are gonna need to go down to professions here and assign 4 builders to do that. But on top of that, I want to go to food production here because I also want a fishing dock. And I want to put the fishing dock right about there if I can. That looks like it'll be okay. So I want to do a fishing dock right there, and we're going to need 6 people total as builders to work on that. So 4 for the boarding house, 2 for the fishing dock. And before we hit play, I also want to go and start removing some resources. So up here, I want to get rid of those trees, I want to get rid of the stone, and I also want to get rid of the iron that might be in there as well. I say get rid of, I mean I want to harvest it. I don't just want to get rid of it and never use it, because that would be kind of silly. I think what I'll also do is just expand the radius of resource gathering a little bit there, just so we can grab a little bit more, and just so we can have a little bit more room around here. So there we go. We can go ahead and hit play, and we can speed things up a little bit. They're all going to run around. They'll start moving the resources. They'll start gathering resources, and they'll also start working on the fishing hut over here. So the reserve of stone and logs is actually quite low at the moment. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that. That's something that we'll manage, because we are going to get more of those things. And it looks like the boarding house it has all the resources it needs, and it is about to be finished right there. Boom. So boarding house is done. We are about to see the stockpile of potatoes in here run out. That's not a problem. The game is going to say that we're low on food, I think. But that's fine. It's all inside the boarding house. It is being consumed pretty quickly, though. So we are going to want to, hopefully, get this thing built ASAP. Which it is. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is take these guys off of the builder job, and I'm going to say right away we go for 4 fishermen. So this thing is going to be working, and it's going to be producing food. It's going to be good to have, basically. I also closed the professions tab, which is not a thing I wanted to do. There we go. So we have our 4 fishermen. That's going to start generating some food for us. I'm also going to go ahead and start putting some roads in here, just because it makes life a little bit easier if there are a decent number of little roads there. So we'll get those in. And I guess we could go across here as well, just to get a nice little square in there, and we could probably do with going up here as well. So we'll do that, we'll hit play, and we'll let them dig out the roads. In terms of resources, it looks like we're going to be totally fine in terms of logs and in terms of stone. We also have Raynell becoming an adult and working as a laborer, which is good news. So what I'm going to do, and Robertrude has become an adult and is working as a laborer. All right there, bud. All right then, fella. You do you. Now what we are going to need to do is go back to production here, because we need a woodcutter. A woodcutter will chop logs into firewood, which are then used to heat homes in winter. We are absolutely going to want a woodcutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my woodcutter up here right next to the stockpile, because if we start running out of firewood, people will start complaining about being cold, and they will eventually die. If we run out of food, they'll complain about being starving, and they will eventually die. There's a lot of things that can kill them, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that can kill them. We're also probably gonna want a blacksmith, because this is how we make tools. This is how we do things efficiently. But I'm realizing, as well as that, more so than the blacksmith, we might very well just want to do one big old crop field right in the middle of town to start with. So we're going to do that. We're going to say it's going to be potatoes, and we can get 4 farmers working that, so we're going to do that right away. And we're going to say that we'll have 3 builders going and doing their thing as well. So we'll get some potatoes growing, and that will be a good thing. It is the beginning of spring, so it's the perfect time to put a crop out here. And we actually have some fish coming in as well. Looks like we got 18 there, and we have, I don't know how much fish we got there, but we got some. 18, 45, 72. That's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. So hopefully we'll see some stuff happen there with the fish. Hopefully we'll see the reserves of food continue to grow. And the good news is that the fishing hut is a way to get food all year round. That's why I love these things, because the fields, they don't really do anything during winter, obviously. I mean, they're going to be frozen over. It's going to be too cold to grow potatoes or grow cabbages or whatever you want to grow. So, something like a fishing hut is really useful. What's also quite useful, and I totally forgot about this, is the gatherer's hut, because you can get roots and berries from a gatherer. Now, what you will want to do with these is place them sort of out in the woods a little bit, possibly also with a hunting lodge, now that I think about it, because we could get some meat from that. I think I'm going to place a hunting cabin out there, maybe along with the gatherer's hut. Might not be a bad idea to place both of them. So we'll do that. We're going to need a road leading out there, so let's make sure we get one of those on the go. Which is going to be, I believe, there. Going to about that spot. Going from that spot, we'll go straight down. And we'll just go like that. So that'll be our road. That'll take us out into the woods to the hunting lodge. And the cabin thing, I keep forgetting the names of them. I'll get it eventually. Now this is going to need workers. We need woodcutters. We only need 1 though, which is good news. Also, we have Mira becoming an adult and working as a laborer. We have Patrice, Burgeon, and Atina have been born. Norman has become an adult and is working as a laborer as well. Good. Good, good, good. Let's keep that up. And let's keep that going. In terms of food, we're actually looking pretty good here. We're actually looking pretty good. I think we're getting a good number of fish, which is fantastic. And the food supplies are only going to go up, which is exactly what I want to see. I'm also totally thinking a forester could work out here. Because a forester's lodge, I mean, obviously, I didn't really explain what the hunting cabin and gatherer's hut are. Do I need to do that? Hopefully, you sort of get it. Hunting cabin is hunting, the gatherer's hut just gathers things. But the forester actually selectively cuts down trees and plants new ones. It's a renewable way of getting wood, which is kind of neat. And that might not be a bad thing to put out here with the other buildings that we have. That might not be a bad thing to do at all. The only problem is getting the workers for it. But I think since we have the resources, I'll do it, and we'll see what happens. I also think it might be an idea to say, go collect stone and go collect iron in that area. And maybe we want to collect iron. There's a lot of iron up here, good lord. I absolutely want to go up and collect all of that. Although that's a bit of a journey, but we should be fine. Shouldn't really be too much of an issue, hopefully. Be a bit awkward if it is. But assuming that the journey's not too perilous, we should be okay. Now, food supplies have gone down to 102. Is that because this? Yeah. So this has a bunch of fish in it now, that's fine. That's going to keep me really nervous, though. Having the food supplies go down because they move it into the boarding house is going to keep me super nervous, and I don't know how to feel about that. But I'm sure I'll make it work. I'm sure everything will be fine. Although I'm noticing we are a bit low on wood, so it might be worth saying that we want to go out and gather a bit more of that. So let's just head up that way a little bit, try and gather a little bit more wood, because we are going to need to start getting houses for people. We are going to need to get, like, individual houses for people. We also have the hunting cabin here. Now, what do we need for that? Ideally, 3 hunters. I'll do 1 to start with, just so that that building is going to be producing food. That is, you know, a start. I think you have hit the fuel limit, haven't you? Let's maybe increase the fuel limit to 300 rather than 200, just so you can keep working a little bit more. Because I don't know, I'd kind of like to see you just keep working for a little bit longer. That seems like it might be a pretty decent idea. Now, the gatherer's hut is going to need some workers as well. 4 in an ideal world. Unfortunately, it's going to be 1. And then the forester is going to need some workers as well. Let's just say 1 to start with. This person has no idea where to go right now, but that's fine. When the forester's hut is done, they will go and become a forester. So, let's go ahead and start working on some wooden houses. And I'm pretty sure if I press, is it B? Oh, what button is it? H? F? F. F's the button I'm looking for. You can change the style of the houses, which is a thing I kind of like doing, but we'll not stress too much about it just yet. What I think I'll do is I'll go ahead and start placing the houses behind here. So, let's see. Can we get something nice looking? Can we get like a nice pattern here? We can do that sort of thing. We can have a little gap between each of them, I suppose. I mean, it's not a great use of space, I'll be honest, but it'll probably work. So rotate you around a little bit, and we want that one. So yeah, we'll do that. That's an interesting use of space, if I do say so myself. Not really all that efficient. But I'm sure it's fine. I mean, it'll work, so that's alright. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and do this sort of thing as well, and just run a path down there, and down to there, and we'll run this up to there as well. And I think we'll just run it between all the houses too, just because we sort of can. There we go. So that'll give us some weird pattern around those houses. I think we have hit the fuel limit, haven't we? Yeah, we have. And we have a lot of food. I guess we harvested the potatoes, didn't we? So that's going to be us sorted for this early winter that's just rolled around right here. Which is okay. We're doing all right. We have need of 10 builders right now. I don't think we're going to be doing that, unfortunately. The builders are going to be... Well, they're going to be waiting. They're going to be working slowly. And I guess what? It's 2 builders per building, so they'll get it done eventually. It's probably all right. Probably not anything to worry about. Although, now that I think about it, I mean, how many people can this thing hold? It can hold a lot more. It can hold a lot more. We haven't really used resources in these yet. What if we were to cancel them? What if we say, you know, remove these houses? What if we say, I mean, obviously we just put these roads in, but what if we say remove the roads and let's just keep them in the boarding house for a while? They're not going to be super happy in there, but I feel like that's going to be better than putting them elsewhere. I also feel like we are kind of in need of another stockpile. So what I'm going to do is put a little road back there the way I just did, and I'm going to do another barn. Because having multiple barns later down the line is going to be a good thing. Getting multiple of those will be good. Storage for logs, stone, and iron is near capacity. Yes, it is. That's nothing to worry about. We are about to fix it. So let's go to there. Let's go to... Where do we go for this? Is it storage, I suppose? Stockpile? And let's just make a big old stockpile. We'll go up to there, and we can put some roads around it. So just like that. There we go. So that will give us more room to place things, which is exactly what we need. Means we can start bringing resources back. We can start putting them on there. I guess we have a decent amount of iron, and we're only going to get more because there's so much more to gather right now. So hopefully we can do that in the near future. We could probably speed things up a little bit. Go to 10 times normal speed there. Especially since not a whole lot's going on. Although I do think we're about to go into... early spring, which will be beautiful because it means that the fields will go ahead and start working again. Which is exactly what we want. Yeah, top left, early spring of year 2. Alright. So we should see, there we go, the farmers are doing their thing. We have 2,000 food right now, so that's amazing news. That's exactly what we want to be seeing. And we have a bunch of wood, we have a bunch of iron, and we have a bunch of stone that's being moved into storage, which is beautiful. I'm also thinking, might be an idea to just say remove all of the resources down here. That'll get us a bunch of wood, a bunch of stone, and we are going to need that for construction a little bit later down the line. Now, obviously, there are other options. We could get a quarry if we wanted to. We could go for a mine if we wanted to. Those things they are good to have, and they will be useful later down the line. I just don't particularly want them yet. That's not something I'm too interested in. Also, can I increase the priority of the work on these roads just to get rid of them? I'd like to get rid of those sooner than later. Just to stop the icons from popping up there. So we'll get rid of all of those. The field's been planted. It's looking... I mean, it's currently in a 40% yield, and we're only on late spring, so potatoes definitely seem to be the way to go. Lewiston has become an adult and is working as a laborer. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. We'll let you do your thing. We can actually take these 2 builders off the job and say, one of you go be a gatherer, one of you go be a forester, and one of you go be a hunter. Harold is also a laborer. Fantastic. So we have our gatherer, we have our hunter, we have a forester as well. I really need to sneeze.